it's just pretty easy to really make work. Again, we saw Fnatic do it. It didn't work out, so they've got to find the issues with it, make it work for themselves. 032 with the Ember, you mentioned, it has to deal with the Gust now. At the same time, it can also gap close though. So it's a double-edged sword with that Phoenix, with the Ember, and now you have a Mars. So your team fight's building up here for 032. Trient, Mars, Ember, Tiny, a lot of AoE, a lot of ways to get these fights started. In EXECRATION, for their part, their control isn't the tightest. Their AoE control is sort of lacking. They've got the snap for wide AoE damage. They don't have anything to really build off of that, so something has to come out here for their mid pickup.
I do love that Mars pick, by the way, John, from 032. At first, I was kind of sitting there wondering what the point of the Mars was in this matchup, but if you think about it, the Drow Ranger, once you put the shield up, is going to miss most of her attacks, and they're going to be redirected towards the Mars shield, which basically takes no damage.
5 seconds remaining.
And so it is going to be very, very hard for our Drow to actually be able to get some substantial damage off in these team fights, and of course, as well as that, Blink Arena Spear. It's a pretty easy kill into the Drow, assuming you can hit all those, and it's not like she can force stuff out of the arena. So I do like the Mars pickup.
Yeah, it really ties in that draft. And EXECRATION, you can see their ban outs. They're starting to have to target those pause ones. They take the Spectre out. One other way to pile onto the Drow, not like you need it when you've got Ember, Mars, and Tiny, but they take that option out. I think 032, they're not going to be limited by that pause 1 pick. Not as much as EXECRATION needs something magical for mid. You can already see 032, they banned out that SF, they banned out the Quap. So those jumpers, those people that can help you read the back, get the burst damage before the spells can fly out, they're gone. It's going to be trickier for EXECRATION to find that playmaker to slot in for their last pick.
032 will have the first pick for that last pick now. What they do go for, they are seemingly lacking a safe lane
10
here.
seconds remaining.
A lot of the popular options are already gone, but you do still have the Lifestealer if you want to go back down that route. Generally, it's not a great idea into the Drow like we talked about last time, but you never know. They might go for it with the Mars and the Ember.
Yeah.
Do also have that Terrorblade.
Yeah, it's really open. I actually don't mind the Lifestealer. If you've got a sort of natural vehicle with the Ember Spirit, you've got the Tiny once he has Blink. Yeah. You have some ways of naturally closing the gap. Build off of that. It plays into the timings they've got. The spell immunity is really nice here as well. And suddenly the clock and snap don't do anything. Venge swap is all you have, so gonna have a lot of ways of dancing here with a Lifestealer. You like that even more.
I do love this hero. Now, I realize we've had nerf after nerf after nerf for the Lycan at this point. It still does the exact same thing. It's not like anything's changed. You get a Necro book, you get it to level 3, you start running at people with your team, and you push towers. It's not rocket science. I don't think EXECRATION at the moment necessarily have enough to deal with this Lycan pick, if I'm perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, I think it slots in well. Like that aggression, it can come up. You mentioned it, but the core of this hero has not changed despite the nerfs. In the right lineup, it plays well. Think about the combination with the Treant. Like you'd reckon EXECRATION would want to push as well with Avenged Drow, but then they're pushing into a Treant Protector, which, as we know, is difficult at best. Stop 032 from doing that. They have so wave clear here from EXECRATION. I suppose Drow Ranger's multi and Snap's shotgun are okay, but you're gonna have to do that a lot just to keep the wave shoved in. 032 without Lycan, they want to play fast. Drow doesn't necessarily come online in a snap. We've seen that again from Fnatic in the last series. Their Drow was just not online. Like Raven tried his best, but and you are severely behind in the Drow.
There's your Phoenix coming out as a last pick for EXECRATION. I don't mind the Phoenix here. You haven't really got anyone to burst that egg down, so theoretically that egg, after the level 1 mark of course, once that egg's at level 2, assuming you get the positioning right, should be perfectly safe. I still want to say that Execration's draft looks a little bit weak to me, if I'm perfectly honest, John. Like, you've only got the clock to initiate here. It's looking a bit rough in that sense. You've got one frontline in the clock. I guess Carl and the Venge can do a few sneaky plays in that mid-Vengeful Spirit, but I just don't see how you're going to slow down this Lycan. I don't see how you're going to slow down Bok and the Mars nor Nico on the Ember. I think they've just got plenty of catch here for this Drow. Palos is going to probably have a fairly difficult game.
It's not going to be an easy time. I mean, the Phoenix we talked about potentially being 4-0-3-2, right? Because they had the tree and Execration was setting themselves up to counter with a snap, and we were looking for control from Execration. Phoenix Egg Stun is not stable control. You can force area denial with it, but you don't have the combos. You don't have the Mars along with it. At best, have Clockwork Cogs, which is just lacking. So there's a lot here Execration has to make work. If they can make it work, look, you can get your Drow off to a running start, it can take over. You have to get to that point, and there's this wild card of Carl mid now. Carl's a fantastic player, but the Venge mid up against an Ember Spirit, that one can be a bit dodgy. There's a lot of ways for Nico to dance around that. He has better wave clear. Execration, they've got their work cut out for them. 0-3-2. They just need to get it really hard. And wow, I never noticed Mars has that animation.
Oh, someone on Execration hasn't got the battle pass. How embarrassing.
Oh no, RR. No.
Very upsetting. It's alright.
The classic Mike. Look at this.
Oh, we've got a DC, everyone. It's lunchtime. Get the food.
It's a duck egg with a duckling.
What's a duckling, John?
A duckling, a duckling.
Oh.
It's the egg with a chick in it, basically. So some people are put off. I think it's okay. I've had it a couple of times. It's okay. Like, you get over the texture. I think the texture is what throws people off, and I guess the moral implications of eating that, I guess that's what I see a lot of people in other cultures see, but it's a Southeast Asian dish. I think the Vietnamese and the Chinese have their own versions as well, all over Southeast Asia. You should give it a try. If you do give it a try, have it with some alcohol, just to wash it down. It's usually the best for that.
Well, John, I don't know if we can recommend alcohol, John, because you know we're casting a video game here, John. I'm not sure how old the viewer base is right now, but don't worry about the alcohol. Drink some Monster. That's all you need.
Drink some Monster. It goes perfectly fine with that as well.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Jonathan. I must admit, that's not the explanation I was expecting. For some reason, I thought it was a type of chocolate.
What? I mean, you could try to make some balut chocolate. I would not recommend that. And I think a vast majority of people would look at you sideways, but you could try that. It's an open country. It's an open world. You're free to do what you want.
Thank you for that, John. Someone's my research isn't going too well, clearly. I'll have to go back to the drawing board on that one. I wasn't expecting duck eggs, but
yeah.
By the way, Pos 3 Snapfire.
Yeah,
it seems like.
Yeah, it's the Raging Potato offlane snap. And keeping up with the surprises, look down mid, Mike. So it's Carl on the Venge, but Natsumi's actually on mid this time on the Lycan. So they're running the mid Lycan, they're running the safe lane Ember. Lane swap out a balance here for both sides, just throwing curveballs. Gonna be interesting how that spreads out. Mid Lycan, not too strange. But up against mid Venge, I don't think we've ever seen that one.
No, we haven't, John, but I do believe this should favor Natsumi. I can't imagine Carl will be able to slow him down on this Lycan, and especially once you get to that level 3 or 4 mark, you have 2 levels in Feral Impulse, which just means you regen so much more. I just can't see Carl being able to slow Natsumi down whatsoever.
Yeah, it's gonna be a difficult one for Carl. He does have some really decent animation, so as a right clicker. So right now he's finding the better end of last hits, 4-2 up against 3-1, just slightly up there. But as the levels build up, that's gonna get worse. And it's gonna be down to the supports maybe to get stacks off for Carl. Speaking of those supports, up top you do have RR on the Phoenix, along with Palos on the Drow, up against Bach on Mars and Matthew on the Tiny. And these dual lanes, it's somewhat potent, like if you get a good gust and start piling the slows on, if RR lands his spells, and if you invest in an early Sunray, you can melt these heroes down. But they have a lot of burst as well.
Bot lane on the Snapfire, John. One of the big weaknesses about core Snapfire is it is relatively squishy. Already got the 2 gauntlets of strength there, giving him 720 HP, but still just not enough to survive the tree and Ember.
No, it's a really difficult lane to hold. Your magic damage is going to be blocked once you have Flame Guard, and in fact, because of that, Nico doesn't even need a Flame Guard. He has a tree. So a lot of early damage that can fly out, and even top lane.
Yeah, also getting picked off there. Bok able to take the kill on the Mars. And this is what I was kind of worried about, except I expected it a little bit later on here, but 0-3-2 already getting started very, very early. But they could just run at you. I know some people are going to look at this draft of 0-3-2 and say, oh, it's a 4 melee lineup. In fact, it is a 5 melee lineup, yeah. In fact. But it's still going to be problematic if they are able to break the gap. Still, bot lane, they do end up losing Nico.
That's a big one. That's the kill they're looking for. They finally put that Ember down. And that's something you can't underestimate as well. Like Ninja Bogey doesn't have living armor, so you don't have that bailout for you.
They're fighting back now. Execration do take down Matthew, going after Bok, but he's going to be able to TP back towards his own tier 1 tower. Though in classic cast curse fashion, John, I think I might have just cursed 0-3-2. And Execration do get 2 kills straight off the bat, as soon as I'm done talking. Every time.
That's how it goes. And now you've got the Soul Ring up for Raging Potato, so he can sustain that bot lane. It just gets a little bit harder. Again, you look at that skill build up here on the side of 0-3-2. They are going aggressive with Ninja Bogey, and they're trying to go for more again.
They'll have to settle for BDZ. No. They'll throw out the Nature's Grasp, but that'll be it. A lot of damage actually from that Nature's Grasp, even at level 1, but looks like BDZ will be just fine. Ninja Boogie gonna go ahead and secure the bottom power rune. Best they can hope to do here for Execration is just try and get Nico, and they do get a very nice cookie off into the battery assault, but BDZ, he won't have enough mana for the cogs, and with that level 1 battery assault, it is not enough damage, though mid lane, Matthew. A fair bit of damage there onto Carl. You also had Ninja Boogie there. Carl still managed to actually deny the rune away from our Treant. But on the brighter side, Matthew ends up getting the mid observer ward.
Just trades all around. Really early rotation from 0-3-2. Both supports going down mid to help Natsumi out. And that lane we talked about, we were expecting the Lycan to do well. It's not looking that hot anymore. 22-7 for Natsumi, 31-4 for Carl. So that mid-venge paying dividends here for Execration. Just working out perfectly.
So far, so good. Lane, bit of harassment out onto Bok, but RR can't really do too much here at that level 3 mark on the Phoenix. In fact, he has to be a little bit cautious. Bok could turn around for the spear at any moment, but they're going to try and dive for the bounty, but Matthew with the avalanche toss going to burst him down. Meanwhile, bot lane BDZ gets the cogs off on Nico, but he might end up dying. Ninja Boogie has the Nature's Grasp in 1 second.
Under attack.
Who does he want to go for, though? Cops the shotgun. Raging, still fighting back Ninja. He may have gone too far here. And Cookie will be enough. And both heroes from Execration survive on a slither of HP. But look at Nico. Coming back in, BDZ will not get spotted. Nico, back to the drawing board.
Man, the aggression both teams are bringing out early on, it's making it difficult for 032 in particular. This lineup needs to be up faster. Like you mentioned, a 5-core lineup up against a Phoenix. They need some certain item timings here. They need the blinks coming out a bit faster to deal with this. And once they start falling behind, it gets a bit scary. They do find a kill in Raging though. So that does it.
Kalos also going down as RR was not close enough to help out, so 032 take full advantage again. And for Execration, the only saving grace right now is the fact that Carl is really farming out of his mind on this Venge.
Oh yeah. I think in that sense, they do have a slight edge from Venge. I mean, there's not too much action you can expect. Maybe we see some big swaps. That's what you're going to have to ask from Carl as the farm goes on. He's going to have to give that space away at some point towards Palace, but he's not going to be looking for it. So at least you have that building up here. You can see the clump up though. They're starting to group 3 heroes up top. Natsumi's just about ready to find an early tower here.
Doing the same at bot though. I say that there's only 2 heroes here. I thought there might have been an extra one, but not the case. Natsumi just stealing the small camp away from Execration. Already has the Necro 1 book coming out on the courier now, so he can definitely commit to a big push on that tier 1. But you don't want to give up that mid tier 1. Carl has started forcing it in a little bit, but Matthew will be there to defend.
Raging.
Down a bot lane, Raging. He's been caught out. Has no Cookie, has no Scatter Blast, but does have BDZ. He's just not close enough. Nico will take another kill for himself on this Ember.
And it's a pretty good bounce back here for Nico. Up at the top of network, above Carl now, and they're getting that push.
Oh, RR, bit late on the Icarus dive there. Still trying to survive, but he used his dive, which means he's going to die. And yeah, fun fact, John, you cannot Icarus dive out of arena.
Lovely. That sounds perfectly balanced to me, as they take the tower off of that. So 032, after a bit of a shaky set of engagements, do pull ahead. You can see that network lead just suddenly spiked. 3k lead, 7-3, 8 minutes in, and that's the Lycan factor. Once you push these towers down, you can really start raking in the network for your team.
True. The 3k net worth lead right now for 032. Of course, a lot of that is actually split between all 3 cores. I thought it was going to be mostly Natsumi. That is not the case here. Slowly working towards that Necro 3. Farm is just being very evenly distributed between all 3 cores, which, in all honesty, I think is pretty darn great. Apart from the fact that Natsumi has been caught out here in the wolf form. You know, I don't think Natsumi deserves the tip at this point, John. I think I deserve the tip. I should just stop talking about 032.
Oh, every single time. Every single one you focus on, man, some reason they just decide to prove you wrong. Natsumi punished in a big way. Really big clump up from Execration. That is the kill they want, though. Take a little bit of that steam off the Lycan. They start to at least wrangle some control back in the jungle. They've got some lovely wards here to watch their own top area and start to build up. They've got level 6 in Raging Potato. They do have the swap ready from Carl. I think they're going to need 6 in their Phoenix. Really down to RR. He's their main team fight. Base back to that support to really build up here.
Tsumi needs to focus up on this Lycan. That Necro book timing, you want it to be a little bit better than what it's currently at.
Oh, Potato.
Bot lane, Raging Potato is having a very difficult game on this Pos 3 Snapfire, and again is going to die. Palos was there to help out, but it is only a level 8 Drow at the moment, so the damage output is not there. Still a smoke in. you don't have level 6 on BDZ yet, so they can't hook, but Carl is looking for a swap attempt. They might turn here. BDZ cogs up, but he's in the nature's grasp. Arena is going to catch him. They throw the spear out. Meanwhile, Matthew looking for a toss back onto Carl. Will be able to eventually get it, but he does have to swap. Carl does get overgrowth up. Now they just focus him down. Nico with the remnants forward, but Carl will swap him away, and now they'll turn back with 4 heroes here from EXECRATION. Swap back into Nico, but he'll remnant back out the other way. Still, the Sun Ray is now there from RR. And the Mortimer's Kisses to come in. Nico trying to juke this out, but there's just no way to do it. They blocked the river off. And I didn't realize fire was able to stay lit on the river, John, but apparently that is the case.
Yeah, it's rather unfortunate. The water wouldn't cool that lava off as they do lose Nico. So a big pickup for EXECRATION. They're going to be happy with that. Still a lead for 032 though. 2k advantage. They're not getting any tower action as well. That's a big one. And
Raging.
ready to go.
Raging. Well, that is a very dangerous spot to farm in. They haven't taken the bot tier 1 towers. That farming spot is contested right now. So 032 take another very easy kill.
Oh, BDZ.
BDZ try to defend tier 1. Oh,
what?
No.
Dire's bottom tower
Misses the hook shot onto his creep wave. Sometimes when you're going for that panic hook shot, Johnny, it can be a bit hard to land, and that's unfortunate.
Dire's middle
That
tower
creates
is under
space
attack.
for 032 to push in that mid-tier 1. And again, looking at the progress on push, you're playing against Treant. All of these tier 1s from 032 are fully healed. There's just not much from EXECRATION to keep theirs alive. That tier 1 mid gone. So control in jungle now harder to maintain. 032 gonna try to use that to wrangle even more control on those farming spots that EXECRATION are going to be hard pressed to defend now.
You've got that blink coming out soon on Matthew, and that's something to be really concerned about this game. So once the Tiny has that initiation for the team, things get a lot harder for EXECRATION. Look to Palos, his farm hasn't been amazing yet on that Drow Ranger, still at 4.8k. Working towards that Dragonlance and taking some stacks for himself. He'll eventually get there, I'm sure. Just still going to be worried about this Lycan.
Oh, yeah.
I love the fact that he's skipping the boots, by the way, John.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't need them. He fights when his shapeshift is up. He doesn't need the boots, otherwise he's just farming around the jungle. So the timings 032 are playing with, they're confident they're sticking to that. And on top of that, they're going to have blinks up soon. Look at the timing on Matthew. He's 200 gold off. Look at the timing on our Mars. Bach is just about 300 off. So the blink on these two initiators are going to be up sooner, and EXECRATION are going to have to contend with that additional initiation now.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Arena is out. They caught Carl. It'll be a huge kill, but no, the swap out still overgrowth is going to be there. Natsumi rushing in with the wolf form. Carl drops the GG tree, but it is not going to help with that egg will RR. Buying time. The chase continues. Natsumi, another tree drop, but it will not be enough. They do get the kill. Now Raging Potato trying to fight back, but he has gone too far. He just used his cookie. The Sunray heal is going to be out, and that should force Natsumi back. And it will. But you lost that mid-venge, you lost your pos 4 clock, and Nico's still having a look. Gets the chains off on Raging. Raindrops might actually save him there. Looks like they did. Survives on 90 HP. Raindrops, sometimes, John, they win you the game. Sometimes they just save your life.
Yeah, buys him enough time. Look up top though, Matthew's eyeing. He's got a fresh blink up. He wanted to go for Palace, but Palace sensed that danger and backed off. So there's that timing we're talking about. Blink on Tiny. Blink coming out for Bach. What do you do now if you're EXECRATION? Your team fight is all around that egg. Once it's gone, 2 blinks up, it's going to be hard to fight against that initiation.
I agree. Gonna try down to the bot lane again, but it's the Dream Protector. He makes it so hard to take down towers. And this is going to buy time for his team to just go back in. They've got Arena in 3. Natsumi doesn't have a form, but hookshot. Great hookshot on to Ninja Boogie, but Matthew jumping straight onto Raging Potato, and there is going to be no follow-up damage. BDZ, he will be left alone in the trees to think about what he's done.
No.
Yeah, and the tips are coming out. BDZ gonna die to Natsumi. And the chase continues. Nico Bok, he gets a two-man arena off. He's caught Carl, he's caught the Phoenix. There could be a swap out from Carl, but Palos is the only man left there. In fact, he gets jumped on Nico. He wants the main priority target, and that is your Drow Ranger. There's just no hope, I don't believe. In fact, even Carl getting skewered to his own tower. Matthew comes in, a bit of a celebration jump in the air for Carl. Fortunately, he was the one dying, however.
Dire's bottom tower
Now a
is under
TP
attack.
in from BDZ.
Dire's
No hook shot.
structures are fortified.
Raging. Have the Mortimer's Kisses. They might try to get some form of punishment here. Another hook available. They want Natsumi. Go for the hook with the Mortimer's Kisses to fly out. Natsumi pops the wolf form, ready to run away whenever he can. The spear gonna latch onto the cogs, and Natsumi, he's gonna survive. Oh no. Cookie onto Ninja Boogie, but there's help coming in. Ninja, he will go down, but BDZ may have given his life away for this. Wolf
Oh my god.
will chase him, but looks like he will survive.
What the just
Best they could do is get that Treant Protector.
It's not the best trade. Even want to call it that. It's not worthwhile for Execration. They'll take what they can get, but it's an 8k lead now for 032.
Radiant
And
are scanning.
we talked about 5 melee cores against Phoenix. It's not looking like an issue. They're just running them down.
Radiant's
Still,
bottom tower
Execration
is
trying to
under
push in that bot tier 1. The living armor's there, and the TPs are coming out.
They've got everything up again, John. Apart from that wolf form, but they don't need it. Matthew, avalanche toss. BDZ's already dead. He's gone. Now the arena out. Raging Potato trying to cookie out of the arena, but he's stuck there now. Well, it's just a very, very rough time right now for Execration,
Dire's
as
top tower
032
under
is well and truly online, and they're going to be able to claim this bottom tier 1 tower.
Just like that.
Dire's
Like, that's the
bottom
issue when you take
tower
these
has
fights up against a lineup with Lycan. They can melt these
Palos.
gears fast as well. Oh no.
Palos, they just smoked
bottom
right
tower
next to
is
him.
under attack.
Pink's
Oh, no.
flying out. Bok, oh, he blinks too forward. Doesn't get the angle off. 032, they'll have to just accept the fact that this smoke will mean nothing. Or maybe it... Raging? Raging? Speed back?
Oh man.
Sunray? It's not gonna save him.
Creation. The movements just way too easy to punish from 032. One by one, they're streaming in. It's mainly Raging, so you're kind of cutting your losses, but the progress on our offlane snap is not going well. They've got the mech, no progress into the Guardian Greaves, and that means not as much sustain as you want for your entire team here.
I mean, you can still buy time though, right, for Execration. If you could just drag out the game, keep defending high ground, and buy more time for Palos, eventually, he might become a powerhouse. Only problem being is everyone else is just farming better right now. I just feels like that's the only play, right, for Execration. Just, you have to hold these towers.
Yeah, definitely has to be it. It's just the scaling of the rest of the heroes of Execration's my issue. Palos has room to grow more, but 032, I mean, you've got an Ember that scales insanely well. The Lycan has ways of... Morris teamfight's always good. Then you have to consider the fact that maybe enough Ags, Meteor Hammer on your Treant. So there's a lot there. I don't think you want to really bank on the late game, but they might just be forced to, because they're certainly not winning this mid game right now.
But they aren't. Carl. It's mid-venge, John. I mean, it's... Never mind that, because Raging Potato, top lane, just could not catch a break. And I'd hate to say it, but this is one of the saddest position 3 snap buys I've seen, John. He's got a mech. That's it.
It's not fantastic. Need more from Raging, but they can't get it done. Again, the conditions for Execration to pull their big 5v5 engagement, it's just too tough. They are eyeing Nico. They've got BDZ around, but you know, even Nico is just playing too fast.
It's just, you can't aim for the Ember. We talked about it, right? Clock's the only initiation they have. It's a hookshot cogs, that's all you've got. You can gust afterwards, which is great and all, but you need all of it to kill off this Ember Spirit. You need all of it to kill off Natsumi. For even Bok. I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to think everybody on 032 is going to be way too hard to kill in about 5-10 minutes. Carl?
Yeah.
Dire's top tower is under
Not spot.
attack.
No, he spotted. The pings are coming out. Carl gonna go for the magic missiles that are running, and that means Bok can break the gap. He has help around. Sunray is doing nothing, and now the egg to be popped, but it's gonna get bursted down. Great cookie out from Raging, but is it gonna be enough? The hook's not in. They do protect the egg, and now they can take the team fight, but the arena is there. Mortimer's kids is flying out. They are melting on 032, but doesn't matter. Bok, he does die. Now Natsumi and Nico gonna man fight this by themselves. Raging still being chased by the wolves. He does cookie back onto the Ember, but Nico will be able to take him out anyway. And that was probably the best you could have asked for Execration, and it still ends up in a 3-for-3. They are still trying for Nico or even Natsumi, but I don't think they're going to be able to catch anyone else.
No, and then you can see in the situations they get big though.
Nico is playing with fire here. No, he'll leave him be. He'll be right.
You can see when the team fight lines up, right? Like that beautiful cogs in the egg, the stun from Raging Potato to get that done. Like when it lines up, it is beautiful. The issue is, that is just so difficult to line up. Like the conditions for 032 are still easier to pull off. They just run at you. You know, and so Execration, they've got to pull that same kind of fight over and over again, but it's not going to be an easy task to do so.
Nico gonna go after our Phoenix now. Carl is around to help out, but he might have to run as the arena is gonna be out from Bok. Still, they are gonna take the fight. Hookshot in from BDZ with another great cogs out. He scored 2 of them, but here comes the avalanche, and here comes Nico with Bok fighting back. They'll get BDZ. Matthew back in there after Palos now. They have the toss up. Natsumi gonna go for the wolf form, and Palos, he'll gust. It is maybe not gonna save, but Carl gets a swap off back into the Mars. So Palos was thrown to the wolves, and Natsumi now just going to try and finish off Carl. Purges him up. Just does not work out. They need everything. They just can't afford to fight without everything up.
No, they can't. And, I mean, they had a beautiful cogs there. It wasn't enough. They trapped their drow as well, and that was probably not what they were going for. They didn't have the egg. Like, it just, so many things need to click for that to work. It's just so difficult. And you look at these towers. Ninja Bogey, he's still keeping that bot tier 1 alive, and this is just a treat game. So you're not winning fights, you're not winning objectives. Execration needs to win somewhere to bounce back here.
Do. Love to get to that level 12 mark now for RR. Because again, once he has the level 2 egg up, I think it's just going to be way more difficult to be able to take this egg down in a team fight. And that could be the big game changer here for Execration. They've almost got it. In fact, they do have the level 12 up now, so I doubt they'll go for a big smoke. I think they're just going to go for the simple defense play, add a tier 2 tower with the armor bonuses, but that may be just enough to give Execration a bit of a head start.
Yeah, that does add on top. Again, RR has been the star of the show. He has to be dead center, on point with the egg usage, and a lot is relying on that, so they can make it work. I think you worry about this though, because 032 are kind of set to build up. They've got the Maelstrom on Nico, so they're kind of ready with right click, and they've smoked up.
Oh, Matthew, Bok gonna get the spear back onto Raging Potato, and it's gonna be another easy snap buy kill. Of course, he does have buyback. He may need to commit it. 032. It looks like they are going to commit to a tier 2 tower very, very soon. You've got the AC up, and you've almost got a BKB up now on Natsumi. So this tier 2 tower is not going to last long at all.
It's gonna melt. They're keeping pressure down mid as well, so you can see the majority of Execrations just stuck in their triangle, not able to cut through or the top lane. It's gonna be difficult if they don't commit to defense, and it's way too low now. Natsumi's gonna find that really quick, and there's just no trades. Execration, all they can do is group up, maybe clear a camp or two, But even if they clump up bot, and you saw Apollo's just kind of playing around this area, the tower's still fairly healthy, and it will stay healthy because it's a tree game.
The flames rush forth.
Look at these trees being dropped by Ninja Boogie. What a very, very good interaction with the tree and protector, having that ironwood tree.
Oh yeah, beautiful. It's just exactly the thing you'd want.
Yeah.
Radiant are
Ooh,
scanning.
nice scan.
3-2. Very nice scan. Onto BDZ and RR. No, they've caught out Palos. That's the big one. And EXECRATION need to help now. They're trying to Sunray, but there's going to be a spear round from Bok holding down RR. And Natsumi looks to rush down this Phoenix and perhaps force an egg out. Does get the purge off RR. Won't need to use the egg. He'll be all right.
It's under attack.
That tier 2 tower, however, will not be okay.
No, and they don't commit fully for the push. I think they understand that the team fight potential for EXECRATION is still up there. They don't have the egg, they don't have the arena, and they don't have shapeshift. They go for the bounties instead, just giving no opportunities to EXECRATION. It's always the same style we saw from new esports, right? Like, they play it safe, they always go for the map objectives, they always get those bounties on the 5-minute mark, and there's just no opening. So it looks like 032, they're trying to emulate that control here.
KB now up on Natsumi, so they'll be looking for a team fight very soon. That wall forms up, we're ready to go. So Palos is still having a bit of a struggle here with his own farm at the moment. Working towards that Manta style, but it hasn't been the fastest here. He is very, very limited on space to be able to farm up freely. See, even with the Grove Bow on our Drow, giving her that added range in conjunction with the Dragonlance, Palos just still doesn't feel very safe on the map. It's a very hard predicament to be in for a Drow. 032 again, John, with that BKB. In fact, another one now. They're going to try and rush for a fight. Raging, he's going to be spotted out straight away, and they will just jump him. He tries to Guardian Greaves. Matthew looking for an avalanche toss. Will go for it onto BDZ, who did not cancel the TP off. There will be an egg to be committed, but they've already lost 2. Now Carl being chased down. Palos trying to help out. They rush him. They do not care for this Drow Ranger. She is all alone on top of a cliff. Oh, that is a rough position for Palos. Overgrowth going to be out, catching the Phoenix as well, and it looks like they are just going to get team wiped. RR, the 4th to go, and Carl is going to be the 5th. Bok will take him. He'll just take his sweet, sweet time with him.
Oh man, I love this from 032. They are just dancing over EXECRATION, and EXECRATION, they're just not finding the answers. Much harder to pull off their draft. Their conditions are much more difficult to meet. And from that, 032, they just get a decent push. They get the mid tier 2. They're already shoving it that bot tier 2 as well. All outer towers now for EXECRATION going to be gone. A 22k deficit. Quite frankly, I couldn't tell you what else they could do besides getting the egg with a huge cogs. But that's just never easy. But that's what needs to happen.
A very, very tough predicament. 22k net worth lead now for 032. Dota Plus is at the 96% mark right now for 032. Not looking great for EXECRATION. Still holding on for now. Gonna try and reinvade their jungle. This is very dangerous here from BDZ. He'll get tossed back into an avalanche, and Natsumi, he didn't even pay attention to the clockwork, John. He just let the creeps do the work. Now an arena being dropped, they caught out Palos.
Oh, no.
Raging? He's been perched up. He's gone nowhere. Just one by one, they're caught him. That's a tier 3 tower. In fact, they're not done. Nico, he wants to die for more now. Catching out Carl on that bench with the spear back from Bok. It'll be the 4th one. It's a full team wipe. And they call it GG.
Oh, man.
It's under attack.
Oh, boy, what a dominant victory.
032, they made that Lycan draft work. I mean, 5 melees into Phoenix, Mike. How often do you see it work out completely well? EXECRATION back to the drawing board. Gonna have to figure out take this bounce back. Look, I think the biggest issue is you give a player like Carl something like Venge. He can't dance with a Venge. The Venge just swaps around. He needs something he could tango in. jump in with Instyle on.